Breaking the sound barrier. Chuck Yeager was a pilot and a war hero in World War II. He flew 64 missions over Europe and shot down 13 German aircraft. History will remember him most, however, for being the first person to officially break the sound barrier. In other words, he flew a plane traveling faster than the speed of sound. How fast is that? Sound travels at just over 760 miles per hour. Military planes routinely break the sound barrier today, but in 1947, pilots weren't certain it could be done. Pilots who had flown at speeds approaching the speed of sound had experienced problems with unstable controls and damage to their planes. Some thought that going faster than the speed of sound was impossible, that there was a barrier, which might kill a person. Bell Aircraft Company, however, had built a new plane designed specifically for the purpose of breaking the sound barrier, and Chuck Yeager was asked to be on the team testing it. Yeager flew on 8 test flights, and his cool head under pressure allowed him to fly to safety after he encountered problems. The pilots and the engineers kept working on the solutions to the problems, and finally on October 14th, 1947, he took his 9th run. What those in charge didn't know at the time was that Yeager took his run with 2 broken ribs. He had been thrown from a horse 2 days earlier, and a doctor had taped his ribs. Yeager knew that he would never be allowed to fly with the broken ribs, so he kept quiet about his injury. Broken ribs are very painful, but yet Yeager knew he could still fly the plane. What he couldn't do was pull the Bell X-1's side door into place and latch it. He explained his problem secretly to another test pilot who created a makeshift handle out of a broomstick. Yeager tested it out on the ground and found he was able to use the stick to push the lever and lock the cockpit door. On that trip, flying at an altitude of 43,000 feet, at a top speed just a tiny bit above the speed of sound, Chuck Yeager officially broke the sound barrier in the X-1. The ground control operators heard what they thought was thunder in the distance, but it was actually a sonic boom, the sound made when an object exceeds the speed of sound.